Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to my Capstone project presentation. And I'm just here to take you a little bit on my project called From Harm to Healing. So, my project really centered around building community around health and restorative justice, focused on health systems, policy, and institutional change. And we really worked to move from not just understanding what restorative justice and healthcare could look like, but also taking action and implementing this within our communities. And this really grew out of this understanding that medical institutions have had a long history of harm towards marginalized communities, including discrimination, unethical experiments, and dismissal of patient experiences. While we originally envisioned this project to embed restorative justice and trauma-informed care into medicine, the project really evolved to meet institutional challenges. So our original vision was to train future physicians in restorative justice and trauma-informed care frameworks to increase institutional accountability and support survivors and marginalized students. But as the project evolved, we really shifted to a health justice and bridge building framework to address hierarchy and exclusion within our really complex administrative realities. Our project really culminated with a program I designed called Health Justice Scholars, where we had four different modules from foundations of health justice to really reflecting and acting and building out a health justice initiative. Our program really centered around this ETR health equity framework, really teaching young adults and students how they can leverage their relationships and networks, their individual factors, their greater systems of power that they're a part of, and physiological pathways to promote health equity and educational outcomes within their communities and really advance health justice in the initiatives that they designed. This really also drew kind of resemblance to the Annie movement ecology, where we were really kind of at the same level of the health equity frameworks, playing these inside games to advance change within systems, while also working on our own personal transformation on the individual level and building these greater or systems and structures to organize and continue the movement even after our project. I know for me personally, I like started the project really playing the inside game and working to create change within kind of the Harvard University ecosystem, and then later transitioned into kind of building the structures to allow for health justice and health equity organizing in the long term, despite kind of ongoing institutional and like kind of the complex realities that we were working in. And as I went through the project, really transform personally and learn so much more about how I want to make a difference as a health justice leader and advocate, and really to support health and human rights. Our project at the end really explored how health systems shape outcomes, where harm and breakdowns happen, how institutions respond or fail to respond, and what role we can play in shaping these changes using both of these complementary frameworks. And this really led us to hearing a lot of common themes from trust and confusion to access and communication to bias and power, and how all of these different factors intersect with how people experience healthcare, and how can we really promote health justice and work to reduce confusion, increase trust and access, and really tackle these greater systems of power and bias within our communities. We had a lot of challenges along the way, from a really tough campus climate and difficulty initially engaging stakeholders and shareholders within kind of our plan and vision for health justice in our communities. But in the end, our project really succeeded in being able to still advance restorative justice within kind of healthcare and medical settings through building a shared space to talk and communicate about what kind of challenges there are within the health justice and health and human rights landscape, and building a community of young leaders that are interested in making change in the health of their communities and giving them the tools and mentorship to be able to tackle these challenges. Now, for some final reflections, we're really excited to expand the cohort model into a larger recurring program, developing a health justice resource guide, taking all that I've learned from the last 1 year of being in this wonderful program, and giving and publishing that online to give other health equity and health justice leaders a good starting point, creating more partnerships with medical and public health institutions to be able to continue to leverage connections to integrate restorative and dialogue-based approaches into health and medical education, and really continuing to support student-led health justice initiatives through mentorship and microgrants. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation, and I want to give a special thanks to Allison, Joya, and all of the Kennedy Human Rights team for their support throughout this project. Thank you.